Coalition, All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA. It's difficult to figure out who now leads that party, considering the recognition of the chief Ume by the court in Enugu and the convention which saw Mr. Max Zioku elected as the party's national chairman in Oka on the same day. Elections are fast approaching. Court cases are hanging over the party's leadership, and even the party has now been largely factionalized. I'm being joined tonight by Chief Victor Ume, APGA's factional national chairman. Thanks for joining us on the program.
I would like you to withdraw that description, APGA factional national.
Of course,
chairman. Don't do that. Don't encourage lawlessness in this country.
Chief Ume, I'm sorry if you feel offended.
No, listen. You said it's difficult to find who leads the party now. This is a country that is governed by laws. And when a court makes a pronouncement, a court as high as Court of Appeal of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, saying that Chief Victor Ume is the national chairman of the party, you begin to say you don't know who leads the party. We don't promote lawlessness in this country, so you don't join people who are lawless to do that. I take an exception to that introduction. APGA does not have two leaderships. No political party will have two leaderships in this country. And the one that is the recognized leadership is the one that is recognized by law and by the courts of Nigeria. You don't want to create a leadership for yourself just because you want to answer national chairman or factional national chairman. Those things do not exist.
I'm sorry if you feel offended, but for us who have been following the issues, and that's why my introduction says it's difficult to understand the internal workings of APGA, considering the fact that on the same day that the court upheld that particular ruling that you should continue as the national chairman of that particular party, people of your party met in a convention, at a convention in Oka, to elect Mr. Max Zioku. Mr. Max Zioku will tell you today that he's the national chairman.
No, he cannot tell you. That's the point I'm trying to make for you.
So when people outside your party...
No. Three people may be claiming to be something. When the court says this is the person, you follow the person the court has established. The other people can answer factional chairman. You cannot describe me as a factional national chairman of APGA.
So you are the national chairman of APGA?
By the spirit of the law and the party constitution, I am.
But you believe, you agree that your party is largely factionalized?
No, it's a creation of some rebellious activities, which is common in political parties. In Nigeria, people who are actually operating outside the party can set up a leadership for themselves. You cannot begin to say this is it, because at any point in time, there must be a lawful leadership that the institutions, public institutions, can relate with from that party. And when there's no such a situation, then you begin to say that it is fluid. Remember that before I was taken to court, I was the national chairman of APGA. There was no contest about it. INEC was dealing with me as the national chairman of APGA.
But INEC monitored that particular convention.
I'm laying a foundation. I said before I was taken to court, I was national chairman of APGA. That was established. INEC was dealing with me. And when the Enugu State High Court delivered a ruling voiding my election as national chairman of APGA, on the basis of which I now appealed against the ruling of that Enugu State High Court. And the Court of Appeal, Enugu Division, on the 8th of April, delivered a ruling saying that judgment, because the jurisdiction of the lower court was challenged all the way, that judgment has to be stayed. And the Court of Appeal ordered that status quo should be maintained. This is a copy of the ruling. That's why I've come with it, so that when I go, you read it. Tomorrow, when somebody comes here to tell you I'm this, I'm that, you'll be guided by what the Court of Appeal has said. This is also the order of the Court of Appeal made. So you have it. If you come here at page 24, towards the end, you see where the court said, the jurisdictional query, therefore, is a special circumstance that warrants this court to maintain the status quo pending the determination of the appeal. I mean, this is a clear statement by the court. And if the Court of Appeal says, I was the national chairman before I was taken to court, the lower court delivered a judgment, which I appealed against. And the Court of Appeal now said, that my position should be maintained until the final determination of the appeal. From where will anybody come from the side or through the window to claim that he's chairman? You cannot.
Okay,
if you're not talking about convention, which they purportedly held on the between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m., have you ever seen such a thing happen in Nigeria? And that is what they are giving credence to now, that there was a convention that took place between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m., apparently to overreach the pending ruling by the Court of Appeal that sat by 9 a.m. Is that the way a country can be run? I have raised several issues about what they did. Even the notice with which they activated the whole process, was fraudulently contrived. Everything INEC, we submitted that those people who signed notices to INEC, talking about their convening congresses and convention, are not state chairman of APGA. They lack the capacity under the constitution of the party to do what they have purported to do. And you have to wait for INEC to make a pronouncement on that convention.
But I was about asking you that INEC actually monitored that particular convention. That makes it somewhat very valid.
No, it's not true. INEC attending, monitoring a convention does not validate the convention. Section 85 of the Electoral Act requires you to give INEC notice of any meeting or congress or convention where officers of a party will be elected. If you give them a notice and they come there, it has not made their convention a valid convention. What INEC will do will be to monitor. That's why the word is monitor, observe, and ensure that the party in arriving at that convention and all decisions they take at that convention will comply with the constitution of the party. If it turns out that all the processes leading to the convention and the conduct of the convention run foul of their party constitution, INEC will invalidate it. It happened last year. On July 16th, 2012, they purportedly held a NEC meeting. The Sadiq Masala faction of APGA held a NEC meeting and got INEC to monitor it. INEC attended, and when we raised the protest, INEC looked at the whole exercise and saw that the exercise did not comply with the relevant provisions of the Constitution and overruled them.
Okay.
That's the essence of coming to monitor. So that if there's anything wrong with the process, INEC will set it aside.
Chief, I'm very sure that you're not, by now, you're not strange to some particular words as APGA, PDP. Which of the factions do you belong to?
Please, all these things you're asking me is just trying to set up things that do not exist. There is one political party called